It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey, Buzz Buzz babies, it's Friday. The weekend's about to start. I figured we'd do one more live show for the week and do a couple announcements and tell you about some cool comics and then let everybody enjoy the weekend. I'm pretty stoked about it. So real quick, I am working on a Kickstarter campaign with Mario Candelaria and Jay Chic, and you guys know it. We've been talking about it. It's called One True Love, and it needs a little bit of love. We are on the last week. We got $2,400 left to raise. It is a very, very cool noir graphic novel set in the shadows of Hollywood in 1969, where two crooks are on the run with a pile of mob money that they shouldn't have. And the things that happen, folks, get nuts. The illustrations are amazing. Gorgeous black and white art from Jay Chic. I mean, my goodness, it is a pretty book. The more of his art I see is a honor to get to work with him. He's doing really cool things. And speaking of really cool things, here I have in the house tonight the master of indie comics cape stories, Michael Katz. What's up, dude? How you been?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back. I know you've had a lot of big names. I feel very honored to be here.
Yeah, it's been a crazy couple weeks. I've been looking out. It's been very, very cool. But yeah, it's and then like doing the Kickstarter stuff and yeah, it's just there's a lot of I've never been used to having a lot of stuff going on, man. It's, like I've always been like, I was like a day job drone for a really long time. I was just, like I would go to work, I would come home, I'd read comics.
Right.
My life was, which I guess is basically the same thing I'm doing now. Like, I mean, I go to work and read comics, but I'm not complaining. It's awesome. Speaking of awesome, you are doing something a little different than the last few campaigns you've been working on. Working on Metalhead. You're dipping your toes into the sci-fi genre, and not just sci-fi. We got ourselves a spicy little meatball here. Say not safe for work, very adult comic. What made you want to chase down a project like this?
Well, I write the genres I like, and I like just about every genre that's out there.
Yeah.
And this is one where, I didn't grow up reading Playboy, but I grew up reading Heavy Metal magazine.
Yeah.
So a lot of violence and titties in heavy metal.
Yeah, man. All right.
And I wanted to do something that kind of honored that. I
like that. And an honoring of Heavy Metal magazine, which is still great comic books to this day. Still doing like, edgy, fresh content all the time. Cool studio. But yeah, that's a good person to nod towards, to aspire towards. And so like, how do you, because I know you, and we talked about this the last time you were on, because you said you wouldn't do a book like this if you didn't have a good story to tell, right? Like, because it's still, like the adult content is like a cherry on top of the delightful, sci-fi Sunday, right? So how do you balance this out, you and your art team? How do you know like how much is enough story and then how much is enough flesh or not enough flesh, like, right? Because you don't want to come out into the genre like, what's up, I got this hot new sexy comic, and then people were like, oh, they didn't go hard, like it wasn't sexy enough. They'll complain. Nerds complain very well.
I complain about everything. What can I say? But speaking of my artist, Bruno Abdias, just this week it was announced he won the Top Cow Talent Hunt.
Yeah.
So can I pick him or what?
Yeah, dude, that was a good call. That's a good call.
And it was his samples that led me to choose him for the project.
Nice.
Yeah. And
way to get him like right at the perfect time.
Yeah. Well, with Golden Years, Neto Diaz was one of my artists.
Mhm.
and he used Golden Years art that he did. He showed that to Marvel Comics to get a full-time gig working for Marvel.
Damn.
So hopefully Bruno will go on to bigger and better things as right after he finishes his Metalhead. Got to finish that, Bruno.
Right. Yeah. That's because that's the I've we've heard that story or seen that story with Kickstarters where you guys find these artists, right? And then you bring them to the scene, and then they get like they get like a way in, or someone's like, hey, let me and like this has happened before, they get like a big gig after a Kickstarter, and it's like it's a really good thing, but then you're like, you're also like, oh no, like they're gonna be too cool to hang out with me. That's what I would worry about.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
yeah. Well, I keep hoping that they'll bring me with them.
right? Yeah, like
Yeah.
let me do a book with my buddy. Yeah, that's
Yeah. I mean, Kickstarter's
networking
cool,
is the
but
way.
DC and Marvel would be on the bucket list.
Yeah, well, yeah. You want to? I mean, yeah, choke yourself with those deadlines and live on the edge, baby. No, I mean but yeah, I hear the deadlines are intense. But I also
well,
you're
I
also
wanna do
working
it
for Marvel or
full-time,
DC, like
Yeah.
No, you got to do it full time, man. Like quit your job, like go, like boom, all in on DC. Done. Life decisions with Blake Morgan, ladies and gentlemen. It's our new format where I give you the advice that nobody should.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So I mean, like you just got a good eye for art. We've talked about this before. Is it like what's your go-to way of hunting these guys down, right? Because it's not like you can go to a baseball game, right? And or sit in the stands and write stats down. You gotta research the stuff a different way.
You gotta know people in the industry who recommend people to you.
Yeah.
And then you gotta go through samples of a few people till you find someone. My artist on Riot Earp, Fred Bennis, he's part of his brother Ed Bennis's studio, and they have a bunch of artists there. And I was interested in a guy working for that studio, but he wasn't available. So the head of the studio said, "How about Fred? Check out his art." And I was like, "Oh, this is great. This is perfect for what I was looking for." Neto, I got from Ron Mars.
Okay.
And then since he hit it big, he wasn't able to do Metalhead, so he referred me to Bruno.
Oh, cool.
And I checked out Bruno's stuff, and I thought, "Oh, this is great. This is professional stuff. This is high quality stuff. You got to pay a little more for it, but to me, it's worth it." Yeah. So I wanted to, everything I put out to look as professional as possible.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty book, like in several ways. But like, and we'll bring up that Kickstarter page in just a moment to show you guys some of this like literally tasty art. But so like, what do you think now? As the Kickstarter campaign's rounding out, the story's done. You're getting ready to make the comic, right? Like, is this going to be like? Are you thinking about trying to stay in this not like the sci-fi genre, but this more adult? Like, do you think that the exploration is worth it?
Well, this is part one of a 2-part book.
Okay.
All
There's
right.
gonna be another part anyway.
Yeah. Each chapter is 48 pages long.
Okay.
And part one's got a sex scene in it, so it's pretty saucy. Part two's got a sex scene in it. Bruno's great. He's not worried about drawing not safe for work stuff, and he's really good at it too. And he's willing to do what the story calls for, and I'm willing to do what the story calls for. And in this case,
that's a very hardcore thing to say, especially in this genre. Like, I like that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's a good quote.
It's not something that you could, break the law showing to someone. It's not pornography.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's been worse, in heavy metal magazine. There's been more nudity and more sex and more gore, that I've seen in the pages or even in the movies. Yeah. So I skirt the edge, but I don't go too far over, if at all. But this is just a project that calls for it. I still have Riot Earp is still ongoing. I'll have another issue of that hopefully this year. I'm working on a horror book with Daryl Banks that is
Shit.
that is clean. Daryl, I don't think would do not safe for work. I would never
Well,
ask.
that doesn't matter. You're still doing a comic with Daryl Banks. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
So that stuff's completely clean. And it depends. Like I have another superhero book in mind, a spin-off from the Golden Years book, starring the Night Fox character. So I would love to do that, and that would be clean cut, goody two shoes, standard Marvel DC Comics Code approved kind of stuff. But if I have another adult property that comes into my head, I'll go for it.
Yeah. What is next? I mean, you crank out the jams fairly consistently on Kickstarter campaigns throughout the year. So what is, I mean, or I don't know if you even want to, if you can announce it, that's cool. But like, do you know what your next project is after this one wraps up?
No, I can announce it. You're totally reliant on your artist to get stuff done.
Yeah.
So the next Riot Earp is about halfway drawn.
Oh, cool.
The horror book with Daryl is a little over halfway drawn.
Okay. But
Daryl's got a day job, and he still does freelance stuff for DC Comics. So he's got to do that stuff before he gets around to my stuff. So he's hoping that it'll be done by the end of this year.
Okay.
And Riot Earp, I'm hoping will be done by September, in time for me to launch. So I'm thinking that would be next. Then the way Bruno is doing Metalhead, hopefully that will come after Riot Earp. And then at the end of the year would be the horror book with Daryl.
Nice. So nice. You got an exciting rest of 2023 to go.
Yeah.
And exciting for us too. I love your fucking books, man. They're
Thanks, man.
But yeah, I mean, it's, did this, I know you're at goal, right? And you're, you just broke 4,000, but, did you, cause it, what's aggravating is like, there's a lot of comics out there that like, and I guess I don't know the interiors of them, so maybe I shouldn't run my mouth too much, but we see a lot of these, like just the sexy variants, right? And then like, it's just like, if you can buy tits on a cover, and then like these campaigns pull in like crazy money, like, and then we have something like this, that's like really good art, and you have your background in storytelling. So like, I have no doubt it's going to have like a really cool, like sci-fi, that Michael Katz vibe, right? Spies and heroes and beautiful women. But like, did you think maybe it was going to perform a little better than it did, like because of the please factor on Kickstarter right now? Like, that's why I was kind of asking earlier if you can, like, that too sexy, not sexy enough line, if that was like something to struggle with.
No, my problem is I don't charge enough for my books.
And one of those guys.
Keith Champagne keeps telling me over and over, what are you doing? You're leaving thousands on the table there. Just today I offered, I've got these variant covers by this artist, Gian May, and I'm charging them two books for $15, and he's like, dude, they should each be $30 a piece. Well, like, look, I've only got 5 days to go. I want people to add these on. And it's funny because Keith's a good buddy of mine, and I'll tell you a quick story where last time you had him on your show, every time I put my son to bed, we watch like YouTube videos to laugh at. So I pull up YouTube and I see Blake's Buzz, and oh, cool. And who's Keith? Okay, so I've got to listen to it. So I'm listening to your show with my 8-year-old son.
Great.
and it's cool because Keith's working on the Metalhead project. Yeah, he's the editor and he's doing
Okay.
the lettering, right? And my son thought it was cool when he gave the book a shout out. He mentioned my name and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm working on Metalhead with them, blah blah blah. And afterwards, my son asks about something that you had mentioned. You were talking with, I think, you're mentioning a story from Robert Venditti, who gave you the phrase "put your dick on the table."
Oh well, no, I said that. Yeah, I was telling a story about my
Remember?
boss too, Robert Venditti. Yeah, about,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. And my son's like, "Why would you do that? Why would you?" He's asking me, "Why would you put your dick on the table?"
Oh no.
So I had to explain to him it's just a saying, but he's like,
Yeah.
"What this saying doesn't make sense. Why would why would you say you would put your dick on the table?" Well, that's Blake's buzz for you.
Yeah. It's like putting the hammer down. That's
So my
amazing.
8-year-old
And
now
I'm
knows
sorry.
what that means.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. That's a phone call waiting to happen. Oh no, that's I too though had a similar reaction when I first heard that phrase though, because I was like, the girl I was dating at the bar said it, and I was just like, what? Like, excuse, like they got mad because like sometimes the bartenders would have me pour drinks and take over the bar or help bartend because it got crazy and it was just them and I was a bar back. And so like I would just get in the habit of like if the orders or the tickets weren't getting picked up fast enough, I would just be like, fuck it, I'll do it. And my tip outs for like the bartenders would like hook me up for doing that. Cool. And George, the GM, saw me one night and I was pouring a glass of wine. And he was like, you can't do that. You're not a bartender. And I was like, all right, man, whatever. Sorry. And I was talking to Kat at the end of the night. We were drinking before we went home, and like I was like, yeah, George got, because she was a waitress there too, right? So she was like putting tickets out, and she's like, Blake, make me these. And I was like, I can't. Like I just got yelled at, and she was like, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just George putting his dick on the table. And I was like, what? So yeah, similar. Someone said that I should make a Blake's Buzz bingo. So like I guess now putting your dick on the table would have to go on the bingo card.
Yeah. Well, hey, Metalhead is me putting my dick on the table.
There you go. That's speaking of, let's put the campaign page on the table, so to say. Bringing it up. So I mean, yeah, man, you got almost 170. This just went up. I just looked at it. It was 168.
Yeah. So I got a ton of backers. I just don't charge enough.
Yeah.
Because
I was about to say that's a nice number. 5 days to go. I mean, so you're still gonna get that 48-hour bump too. That'll be a nice little change. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see how far down does this go. I'm gonna do my. All right. I'm gonna read the solicit real quick. All right, guys. This is Metalhead from Michael Katz, a not safe for work sci-fi epic. Alien invaders have enslaved Australia. Left to their devices by the rest of the world, humans are trapped in exoskeletons, forced to work as mindless slaves for their alien overlords. One man is able to throw off his brainwashing. He is beset with flashbacks of memories from other alien slaves who had been forced to wear the same exoskeleton. This gives him the ability to use his exosuit to fight back and launch a counterattack against the invaders. With the help of a friendly alien and a civilian human, can our hero achieve freedom? Can he trust anyone in this world of fifth columnists and government-sanctioned race traders? Metalhead is a 48-page story, plus pinups and bonus materials. The book is adults only as it contains scenes of sexual nature. No black bars in this comic. Oh, that sounds pretty cool, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Sounds pretty dope. Now I'll scroll back through slower so y'all can appreciate this gorgeous art.
I mean,
man, it's good.
Bruno's style he reminds me of Brian Hitch and Alan Davis.
Yeah, I can see it.
Kind of a combination.
I like it, man. It's just, and the colors are good too.
Yeah, Julio Santos is my colorist, my go-to guy. He works in so many projects that I've worked on.
Nice. And here we see some of the spicy goods.
Yeah,
It's
no
quite a
black
splash.
stars
It's quite a
included.
splash page.
Yeah. Hey, Bruno knows his stuff, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then here's some of the pinups.
That's
right?
Yeah, that's a pinup variant cover also. It's me and Bruno.
And then yeah, these
As
these are nice
I
too, like
always
the
I always
commissions.
offer commissions. This time around, we got commissions by Bruno. We got commissions by Fred Bennis, who's very popular, and then Daryl Banks commissions as well.
Yeah.
So they're still available.
That's the stuff I thought that would sell out, because you can get original art from your campaigns from like good artists at really good prices.
Yeah.
Like what's
yeah.
the Daryl Banks? I was looking at it. Not that I
Yes.
have enough money for it, but just to kind of dream for a little bit. Okay, so $210 for an 8.5 by 11. Okay, so that's a big sketch, black and white, plus both cover versions of and the comic and the digitals and the extras and the pinups.
Right. Plus, he always puts a little background, and it's not just your basic character. You know, he's an artist, and he can't do just plain boring vanilla.
Yeah.
So that's a sample right there that he wound up doing. Keith Champagne, ordered it for his Daybreak book.
Nice. Oh yeah, okay. That does look. I was like, okay.
Right.
But yeah, and then even then, the Benes piece you get for 200.
And 50
you get a Bruno
piece
piece for 180. Like
50 that is the books and the pinups.
Yeah.
Like
that's a sweet.
160 for a pinup, or 150, whatever. It's a good freaking deal.
Yeah.
Including shipping. Yeah.
And like no one has the Daryl. God, man, that's like if I had this is what I wish I had money for. This is what I would. That would be the get. I would love to have a piece by Daryl. I like to bring this up just to remind our readers how fancy special you are. But I mean, you're like well connected in the community with some people that do big two work and stuff, like these artists, and like you and Ron Mars are tight, and Ron, you guys have like worked on books together, and he's like been editor on some of your stuff, like and like you and Daryl, like you have a relationship with like a lot of great people that also helps, and they do, like Ron does his fair bit of crowdfunding stuff too, so it's cool to see you guys all play together. And you guys are making cool stuff too. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy people haven't snagged this art. Long story short, like, it was listening. Somebody listens. This is a sweet fucking deal, man.
I know. Usually, the Fred Bennis stuff usually sells out before anybody else does.
Yeah. Okay. So that's got two.
Yeah.
And then Bruno's got one. So yeah, there's 9 left of this. There's what, three left of that. Yeah. Daryl's got 5 left.
5 left. Man,
those some beautiful pieces you guys could get for a solid price.
Anybody you want does, not necessarily not a character from the comic, but anybody at all.
Yeah, that's dope. And then here's are these so the pinups, are they going to be like prints, or are they included in like back matter of the comic?
Both.
Okay.
They'll be in the comic, but if you order the pinup set, you'll get that as well.
Okay.
8.5 by 11 size. Yeah, high quality paper. Almost cardboard.
Nice. And then here's you can get like some of Michael's old stuff too, or it's not old, but like his older stuff. Like you can get caught up on the Riot Earp stuff. This new Riot Earp special was fucking dope. That's the one Ron Mars worked on. They had like a couple shorts in it, but the whole deal, like this whole Earp saga, is really cool. And these first 2, well, there's the special's huge too, but the first 2 are this is basically like 4 issues of comics and 2 issues. It's a lot. It's a nice, solid chunk of story.
Each one's a double-sized book. 64 pages for number 1, 56 for number 2, and for the special.
And then here's the trade that you just
Yeah.
put out. That was a good looking trade. Are these, you can add these on too?
Yeah, for
Nice.
only $20, you can get
Bam.
120 pages, and that's a 30-page book. I'm again, I'm undercutting myself. Selling it for only 20. Yeah, art by Kevin McGuire, Jack Herbert, Neto Diaz, Key Champagne.
Yeah, that's it. It's another one that's really good, and the different art for the flashbacks and the currents, like that's a cool. That was a dope book. So yeah, and then okay, so he gets his stuff done at Comics Wellsprings. Look at him getting it done locally. I don't know. A lot of people like them though. They seem to be.
Yeah, they've been great for me.
Nice.
Yeah, and they work fast.
Yeah, that seems to be another
I don't know
thing.
if you can jump up to check out the add-ons.
Oh wait, over here. Wait.
No, if you go all the way up at the top.
Oh, wait, more?
Keep going all the way. Click on, let's see, now. Go down a little bit. Does it show you add-ons? No.
Yeah, all it says is
okay. All right. Well, if you pull it up, usually you can see the add-ons. I got these covers by Jean May. I mentioned earlier, two books for $15. One is, and they're both of the alien female, one of which is nude. So that's there you go.
Is this here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's the new variants.
So those are the book. I mean, those are the pictures in progress. She's one of those, realistic. It looks like airbrushing, but she does it on the computer. So those are not even completely done, and they still look pretty awesome so far.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
man, it's a good looking book. People, check it out, and I can't buy that art that you guys are. It's just sitting there. It's just sitting there, like all those beautiful commissions that somebody could get for a steal, and a bunch of good comics too. But anyways, but yeah, that's how do you because that's a deal that you normally do. Like, do you usually do a lot of art sales for the guys? Like, do they usually sell out?
They don't always sell out, but like Fred Bennis usually does sell out. Bruno, this is the first time I'm offering his stuff. He doesn't usually do pinups.
Okay.
So he's doing it especially for this project.
Wow.
And then Daryl always, do usually a couple, 2 or 3, for him.
Yeah.
But then again, usually he's more involved in the projects.
Oh, okay.
Like Riot Earp, he was, he did the special, or he did a variant cover for number 1. He did a pin-up for me. So he's been a little more involved as well. I just don't know why they're not going this time around, but next time, when this horror book comes out with him and me, it's going to be, fans of his are going to love the work that he's doing on it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I love a good horror comic anyway, but yeah, that's another genre I'd be interested to see you tackle, see what you bring to that. So that's exciting.
Yeah, everything I do is
exciting.
I try to make it exciting.
I'm a flawless writer, Blake. It's a hard life.
No, I try to make it Hollywood worthy.
Nice.
I want a movie in front of your face.
Okay.
I don't want anything slowing you down and boring you, So Metalhead is a pretty fast-paced book.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have action, it's got to have humor. Like Riot Earp's got a lot of humor. Golden Years had a lot of humor. Metalhead has got action and sex, and then it goes ba 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 ba. It's nonstop from cover to cover.
You call it like a jackhammerish narrative in
Yeah.
one way or another.
Right. Yeah.
Really, really slamming it home. As they say. Sorry, I was trying to do a funny, what's it called?
Double
A
entendre.
euphemism, or a double entendre euphemism thing,
Right.
trying to put the old dick on the table, as they say in the comic biz. We know that. What's some, like, I'm a horror nerd. Well, not like a huge horror nerd. Like, people will outclass me on like movies that, like, I watch more modern stuff usually, but like
Mhm.
what's some good like horror movies that inspire you, like in the that are, what's a Hollywood worthy horror title to you?
Oh boy. Let's see. This last week, I rewatched a couple classics. Dog Soldiers
Yeah, oh, that movie fucks so hard.
and They Live,
Nice, dude.
which
All right.
great fun. It's not so much horror, but it's got that little bit of horror, a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of action.
Yeah.
And same with Dog Soldiers, a lot of action, a lot of military stuff, a lot of getting to know these guys, and then they fight werewolves.
Yeah, dude, that movie. I was working at Blockbuster.
Mhm.
Blockbuster was my first job. I was
That's
in high
funny
school.
because I worked at West Coast Video,
Oh,
which
really?
is a competitor on the East Coast that not everybody has heard of.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, like right when like I was working there right when DVDs started coming out, and it was so awesome because like I had to rewind those fucking tapes. Oh, no one ever rewound those tapes. It sucked. But anyways, when you work at a movie store, like you get all those free rentals. After a while, man, you're like wandering, picking out weird shit because it's like you've watched so much, and you're like, look, and yeah, like Dog Soldiers came out one week, and it was on the new release deal. I was like, what is this? And I like took it home, and dude, that movie, if you all haven't seen Dog Soldiers, it's so good. It's really like Scottish or something. Like, they're not Scottish, they're like these foreign troops.
British,
Yeah, like British something.
British.
Okay. And they're on a training exercise, and then they run across like some shit, and then they find this cabin and end up crashing at this cabin while these werewolves like come and attack. And the werewolves look really cool, and it's not CGI, it's everything, it's all practical effects. And like, oh man, they have like these long arms and big claws, and they're kind of skinnier, ripped, but skinnier werewolves, and like tall and lanky, and like their arms reach out. Like, they're fucking creepy looking, man. And like, dude, that part when they fucking super glue their boss's guts back together. Oh my god. And he's like screaming. They're like moving around because this wolf like slashes his guts open. They basically stuff everything back inside of him and super glue his intestines to hold him together. Well, dude, that movie is fucking crazy.
It's available on Tubi, so it means free.
Oh.
And then what I do is I often see there's this YouTube caster. His stuff is called Good Bad Flicks.
Okay.
And he does these run-throughs and behind the scenes stuff of all these movies that are like cult classics, including so he did one for Dog Soldiers, he did one for They Live.
Oh, cool.
But he shows us really cool behind the scenes stuff. He mentions how in that one scene where they're putting the sergeant's guts back together, and he says, then the alcohol's not working. He says, "Punch me, you pussy," or something like that. Yeah. He actually got hit.
Oh, really?
And he thought it was on purpose because he'd been being a dick on the set.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, oh, what a good man. Now I want to watch that. I think it just got like a 4K Blu-ray or new Blu-ray released because it's like turned into this cult classic, which is just cool to see. Like,
it is. It's a great friggin' movie. I've seen it a few times.
Yeah, and it holds up too. Like, I think I haven't watched it in a couple of years, but it's all right. I'm gonna say similar to Blade Runner because like Blade Runner is still pretty. Right, some of those practical effects and the scenery they built for that movie like are still gorgeous, and the effects still hold up even when you watch it in 4K, which is fucking gnarly. Because would that come out like 78 or something, or like something like that? I don't know, right. But or 80s. 78 may be a little early, but it's it's been out for a while, and it looks really, really good, which is so crazy now that like, what are the arguments that we're having right now for every big movie is like, everybody's like, the special effects look like shit, man. Like everything's terrible. And I also think it's because of the displays and the screens that we have now too, you know, like everybody wants this like higher, crisper, crazier resolution, right? And then they get mad when you can like see that the special effects aren't real. And it's like, I'm like, you're asking for this. It's like, you know, it's like, if, you know, it's why, you know, lights are dim in bars and nightclubs. So, you know, like you don't want to see all the flaws right away. You know, like it's, you want, you know, to anyways, maybe, but yeah, but that movie still looks glorious. And someone agrees with me, so I'm on to something. Thanks, Three Good Nerds. Yeah, it's still such a good movie. And one of my favorite books, Phil Dick's, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Yeah. I've read it too, man.
So good.
I've read a lot of Philip K. Dick stuff.
Yeah, he's a dude. A lot of his short stories too, like Minority Report, Scanner Darkly, like a lot of his work came to cinema too.
Yeah.
There's also an old Boom comic that's more there, because there's a Blade Runner comic now, which is like a twist of the universe, like more character. It's not like the movies really. I mean, it's like the movies, but with different characters. But there's a Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep comic that Boom put out a long time ago. That's more of a direct translation of the actual novel. And it's pretty cool too. And then they did an a Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, Electric Dreams or something like that. That's not what it was called, but it was called something like that. And it was another spin-off of the comic after that. And that comic book's pretty cool too. And the new Blade Runner Titan stuff is fucking epic. Really good. Anyway, sorry. Oh, we're here to talk about your comic, not Boom and Titan. But yeah, man, all that came out of Dog Soldiers. What a crazy world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a really good movie. If it's on Tubi, y'all should check it out. Like it's definitely worth a watch. Does Tubi have commercials? Is that why it's free?
It does, but not a lot.
Oh, nice.
That's the nice thing. It doesn't have a lot of commercials, so it doesn't. You know, maybe 4.
Okay.
4 breaks of 90 seconds each.
Okay.
So that's not bad for a 90-minute, 2-hour movie.
It sucks sometimes in horror movies because they don't those commercials hit at like scheduled times. You know, it's not like they like go in and check like what scene the commercial hit. Like, have you ever been watching like one of those free channels? And it's really bad with horror because like or action too, actually, because it'll be this like really intense scene and all this shit's going on, and then it'll be like, do your eyes get watery? And it's like, fuck you, man.
I think Tubi puts the commercials in the right spots.
Oh, they do? Purpose. Okay.
In good spots, you know, like where there's a good break between, because it seems to always be a break in the scenes.
Oh,
yeah.
They can probably have don't get mad at me. They can probably have AI do that now. You can probably tell some computer look for brief gaps in the transmission and add commercials here. Anyways, probably shouldn't talk about that. That's all I ever see, man. Now that I do like social media managing and stuff, is like all my ad on Twitter. I don't get it. All my Twitter ads are for female, like these new weird suction cup bra things. And I'm like, you motherfuckers know I'm single and I know I'm fat, but I'm not gonna wear a suction cup bra thing that like makes my tits look higher and better, right? Like I don't need that in my life, right? But I mean, I'm not that mad at the ads either, though, too. But it's, I'm always worried. It's not like I work in an office anymore, though. But like if I'm just scrolling through Twitter, like every now and then you got like this chick like almost pulling her tit out, and I'm like, someone's gonna walk by one day and be like, Blake's just watching porn in public. I'm like, no, I'm on Twitter, and this is the shit that it thinks I need to buy. It's been like that for months. I don't understand. Like, it's so weird. Like my Facebook ads get scary accurate. Like, except now that my Facebook ads will probably change into women lingerie and bras too. Now that I've said this and it listens to me, like, like it's gonna pick up this live stream and fuck with my ads there too.
I'd rather see that than I get charities
Oh yeah.
And my wife hates it because I give a lot of money to charity.
Oh, you're like
She's
guilt
like, "You
tripped
ever
into that.
stop?" You know?
I mean, that's
So
cool. That's
I'd
cool.
love to
Good for
see
you.
women's bras,
Yeah.
show up for a
Like
change.
that would cost me way less money. But yeah, it's just weird that's all it picks up. But yeah, anyways, I've watched so many movies where it like that commercial hits and it's just
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
oh,
I
but yeah,
think
what I was saying is all I
Hulu.
keep seeing is lately it's like if you're a social media manager and you don't use AI, you're a fucking moron. Like those are
Mhm.
almost literally what the advertisements say. And I'm just like, all right, that's not what the world seems to be saying, but okay, like maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
Hulu and
those are the only
Peacock
two ads
have
I get.
bad ads.
Oh, really? We
Yeah,
pay for Hulu.
annoying ads.
Yeah,
That's it.
I can't do those Hulu ads. So we pay for we do like the Disney. It comes with ESPN, but like none of
Right.
the good stuff on ESPN shows on the app, so like it's stupid.
Mhm.
So it's like basically just Disney and Hulu for
Yeah.
for $20 a month or whatever for no commercials.
Right.
So yeah, we do that, and so yeah, but that's why I watch a lot. Like if we didn't, like I wouldn't watch as much Hulu because Hulu's
Mhm.
commercials did suck, and they hit like all the time, and it was
Mhm.
like stupid toothpaste commercials or something. It was like the worst, like didn't even try commercial. Like I try
Right.
harder when I fucking talk about a comic book for 30 seconds before the live show than that fucking toothpaste. And you had to watch it like 8 times in a 30 minute episode. It's like,
Yeah, the
Jesus
same,
Christ.
and then it's the same commercial. That's the
Yeah.
worst part is you watch the same commercial 8 times.
Usually the same 2 commercials. There's like an
Right.
A and B commercial, and then
Yeah.
every now and then it would fuck up and it would play like 2 of the same commercial, like back
Yeah.
to back. And you were like,
Yeah.
what fresh hell is this? Like that is hell. That is hell. Standing in a line, like a line that never moves while like every TV plays Hulu toothpaste ads at really high volumes over and over. There's your next horror comic.
Right.
I just wrote it for you.
The 8th level of hell.
But yeah, so I do need to check out. I hear there's a lot of good horror content on Tubi. Like a lot of horror nerds are like really into Tubi for all the random shit you
There
can watch.
is, and there's and they now have originals too.
Ooh, Tubi originals.
So, nothing I can think of at the moment, but yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that's quality
Nice.
because they want to bring people to it. They want to bring
Yeah.
people to that channel.
I would love what I would love to do is just to get rid of Netflix because I think they're dirty. But like, man, did you watch Extraction? Like, how can you get rid of Netflix?
I haven't seen the second one yet.
Oh my
I haven't
god.
seen the second one yet.
Oh my god, dude. It's fucking
But
Chris
I know what
Hemsworth
you
is so
mean.
cool.
Because
They trick you. Like,
Netflix doesn't. I mean, they don't have as much good stuff as they used to.
yeah, and then they take
I
it away.
keep it because my son loves,
Okay.
a lot of shows that's on Netflix
Nice.
Kids.
You're a good dad.
But yeah, I got to see Extraction. But I mean, I'm so far behind on my movies. Like on Tubi, I've been dying to rewatch The Thing.
Yeah.
For Russell.
Yeah.
The freaking classic. I got to watch Extraction 2. I still haven't seen Ant-Man Quantumania.
Okay. Yeah, I watched that. I watched that the other day. It was okay.
Yeah, I know it's not the greatest, but I still want to see it.
No, I mean, I still like it. Like, the same with Thor: Love and Thunder too, though. I had fun watching Thor: Love and Thunder, and at the end of it, I was like, I mean, I guess I see why a lot of people who are in love with Jane Thor and Jason Aaron's run, like maybe thought that they didn't give it enough respect or didn't do what it deserved, but
I
thought it was okay. Like
I
I had
saw it
fun
in the
watching
theater,
it.
and I thought it was okay, but I ain't need to see it in the theater.
Yeah, I don't go to the theater anymore, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I usually wait for streaming. Like I wait for streaming shit now, and like I just watched John Wick.
Too.
I paid $6 to watch John Wick, and usually when I decide to rent something, it's on something the next week, right? Like it's probably on Paramount now. And
What did you think of John Wick?
All right, I won't lie. The first 2 times I tried to watch it, I fell asleep. However, the first time it was late. The second time I was ripped out of my goddamn mind. But again, like you would think that John Wick would be a movie that you could get super ripped and watch, and it would, it'd be a lot of action. There's some drawn out, slow parts of story building that they put into it. Anyways, it was okay. It was okay.
It gets less and less plausible each movie.
Yeah, like
how many buildings
on those
how many buildings can he fall off of?
Yeah. And the bulletproof suits, like when he's just covering his face, like running, and the bullets are like ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, that would still knock you the absolute fuck out. Like, what kind of fucking anyway? And I get that there's the level of disbelief that
but
he's still running on the power of loving his dog and his wife.
I'm a huge fan of Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was great in the movie.
Is that Kane?
I forget his name. That's he's the blind guy.
Yeah, Kane. Okay.
Why did he have to be blind? They didn't have to. That didn't add anything to it. It would have been so much more realistic had he been able to see.
Yeah. Well, they did make it a point to say that it was the table that blinded him. Like he offered his eyes to the table for something. So there's some kind of ultimate sacrifice thing going on there. I don't want to spoil it because of the ending, right? But it seems like it's either going to be done or we're going to have to like spread out to other characters in this universe. Maybe,
Well, there's supposed to be I think Netflix is doing a spinoff.
Oh, really?
With Ana de Armas.
Nice. And then wasn't that Mr. Nobody technically like they had the same gold coins or something in Mr. Nobody as they did in John Wick? I heard. I haven't watched it yet.
Mr. Nobody is.
It's got the Better Call Saul guy, and he like has a family and stuff, and then
just plain Nobody.
Just Nobody. Okay.
Movie. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Nice.
With I'm blanking on the guy's name, but I know who you're talking about.
I'm terrible at
Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
That's
I like
Mr.
him.
Show.
He was in did you watch The Bear?
No.
Oh, dude, I just finished season 2 of The Bear, and there's a Christmas episode where the whole family's there, and like Jamie Lee Curtis plays the mom, and there's all these guest stars come in to like play this family. It's pretty fucking cool. And that whole scene stressed me out. Like the mom's in the kitchen having like an episode trying to cook this like 7-course meal thing. And then like everybody starts arguing and, the Bob, he's arguing with one of the brothers and he like, the brother throws a fork at him and he's like, throw another fork, you're nothing. And it's just like, oh my God, it was like the best train wreck. It made me so nervous and uncomfortable to watch the scene. Like you were actually at this dinner table watching this shit go down. I've never seen it. I haven't seen an episode of something like that. I was like, of just like emotional arguing, like no special effects, no explosions, no monsters or anything. I'm like fucking holding my breath. Like, anyway, he guested. He was one of the big names in that one episode. And he had absolutely, he's a great actor. Anyway, so yeah, that's all right. So you've got you've got some good, what you consider good horror. I trust you. And it seems like the horror you like is a little more like horror action oriented. Like monsters that you fight, right? Not like not necessarily like ghosts under your bed, so to speak. Yeah, but I mean, there's still elements of those there.
I mean, I like those movies too, but like I'm not big on slasher films where a guy just jumps out and kills someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the good guy, the protagonist, to be able to fight back.
Okay.
And so the book I'm doing with Daryl, it's going to have a lot of action where the good guy fights back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm ready. Anytime, Daryl. Just get to work on that. Yeah. No, what do you like to have everything like done, ready to go print, or do you like it to be like a certain percentage of the work is done when you do your Kickstarter campaign?
Yeah, usually I like all the art to be done.
Okay. Like colors, line work, everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything before I put it on Kickstarter, because I want people to get the book in their hands as soon as possible, because I'm trying to make a name for myself.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy on Kickstarter because there's a lot of good competition out there.
That is true. And
Kickstarter's a busy
place right now.
time goes on, you get more and more, competitors, and including, some of the big companies are using it too.
Right. But yeah, like Steve Orlando getting on Kickstarter. Fucking that fucking guy. But I'm drinking beer he sent, and I found a place to get Kaiser rolls, but I wasn't able to get out there today, but I'm going to go get some Kaiser rolls tomorrow and make like a real New Jersey breakfast sando.
Mhm.
I'm really excited. But I did it today with just on an English muffin, that fucking like that pork roll stuff, dude.
Right.
It's like like you fry it like bologna, you slice it, then you make the little notches in it. But it's a mix between bologna and like salami. When it like, oh dude, I was like, motherfucker. Like now that sprackle or spaggle, whatever the other thing, like scrapple. A lot of people have been like, dude, I wouldn't even eat it, dude. But I'm still gonna.
Yeah, I don't go near scrapple. Try it, but it's definitely an acquired taste.
Nice.
Yeah,
I heard you gotta like fry it or make sure it's crispy. Like try and get it.
Yeah,
try and get it like
definitely, because there's something about texture of it as well.
Yeah, because it's like got cornmeal and stuff in it,
Right.
and pig mush. That's basically what it is. It's like spices, pig mush, and cornmeal.
Right.
I hope I sold that on you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. If you guys don't know,
think of a pre-chewed hot dog.
Okay, I love hot dogs. I mean, like, I've never needed someone to chew it for me first, but I do love hot dogs. Dude, I saw someone made a hot dog cheeseburger on YouTube the other day. They threw like a few hot dogs in a food processor with some like spices and shit, and then made like this hot dog patty. And I was like, why would you do that? Like, it was fucking weird.
Not necessary.
Which is, I mean, I guess how weird, because we buy bratwurst sometimes, like the bratwurst cheeseburgers. You don't have to, dude. You know what? I saw another cool like, I love TikTok, by the way. You like they cut notches on one side of the hot dog so it could like bend in a circle, and then put that on a hamburger bun.
Huh.
And like I was like, man, Sean's that smart. But yeah, anyways, food, man. That Steve Orlando and I talked a lot about food, and then he mailed me some food and beer, and it was really cool. I feel like Blake's buzz peaked last week. It's as good as it's gonna get. I don't know. I mean, unless you guys out there want to send me cool, like, who wants to one up Steve Orlando? Basically,
I'll send you a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, I would. You would win. I've never had like, I mean, I've had Philly cheesesteaks we have here, but I've never had like a real Philly cheesesteak. Even though we have the guy who owns Grinders here is from Philly and gets his bread flown in from Philly every day.
Oh, wow.
So like we have something close, but I mean, even you guys would you still would have been like, that sandwich changed when he moved to that shitty city. Like it was a Philly cheesesteak no more. They actually, I don't know if I told you this story, when the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl, because they call it on their menu like a Philly cheese, like a legit Philly cheesesteak or whatever. And when we went to the Super Bowl, they changed it to the Kansas City Chiefs steak sandwich. And like changed it. This like, it made like the Kansas City Star, like the big Kansas City newspapers, like it was a huge deal, because that's, I mean, supposedly like very akin to your like a real Philly cheesesteak in Kansas City from a guy from Philly and all this stuff. And so like it's like a huge Kansas City, I don't know, Grinders is real popular here. But yeah, it was cool. And I don't know if they changed it back or not. I don't know if they kept it that way or not. But yeah, supposedly it's pretty close, but I don't have anything to judge it by. I just have it, and it was good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you got the bread,
the bread's the big part.
That is the big thing. It's there's something in the water.
Yeah, because any schmuck can season and chop a steak. No,
but there's something in the water in Philly, supposedly, that they use when they make the rolls. Yeah.
That's interesting. It's like fucking poison. It's killing us all
that's
slowly.
What I've heard. It's Philly water.
It's the best sandwich, but at what cost?
Water. That's how I used to say it. That's how I still say it if I'm not careful. I don't enunciate clearly. I
Is
still
that
have my
like
Philly.
when
I
a couple
watched the
drinks come out,
Eagles, the Eagles,
or when the football game?
the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, that's funny. So what else do you got? I mean, what else do you got planned? Anything else cool going on other than these projects that you're working on and the 5 days left of this Kickstarter? Like anything else cool going on in life, or
Uh,
got some hot drama, some any enemies that you want to throw out, shout out?
I got still got the day job.
Yeah,
You
dirty
know,
lawyer.
gotta pay the bills. What am I gonna do? Got a
Yeah,
family to take care of.
yeah, yeah. Family and a comic book studio to run.
Yeah, yeah. My wife keeps saying, when your comics going to hit it big? I want to get a bigger house. I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, great, thanks. More pressure. That's all I need.
dude, Stephen Prince told me that we had a meeting. I'm running his upcoming campaign, and well, I'm doing PR for it. I'm not running it. But he was like, my wife she's like, is this gonna be the one? Like, is this when you're gonna start making a bunch of money off this? And he's like, babe, I do it because I love it. And she's like, great. It's funny. But yeah, it's like he's just a guy. He's just got kids and stuff, and in a busy, kind of a busy life, and he just wants some help on the campaign, which is cool. Hey, if that's a niche I can get into, like cool single dads who just like are a little too busy to like market their comic, like I'm cool with that. And I love Monster Matador. Like it's a cool book. But yeah, anyways, his wife seems to have that same expectation, Michael. She's like, who's gonna get that first movie deal? We're gonna cash out on this or something. And he's like, okay, babe, like that's funny. Who needs a bigger house? Just more shit to dust, more shit to clean.
Tell me about it.
More shit to pay for. They're probably doing like I feel like I know they just fucked with like property tax here in like Kansas City too. Like so it's just like a bigger, nicer stuff. It's like, and we don't have like a big nice house, but it's like even the poors in the middle class they're like, oh, you live in these shitty neighborhoods, like your house is worth thousands of dollars more than you thought it was, and now you got to pay taxes on it. So I feel
that's what you get for winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. Property value went up. Everybody wants to be in Kansas City to watch Patrick Mahomes have babies with Brittany and be the king and queen of Kansas City and produce their little royalty, super sports players. I mean, it's okay here. We got good barbecue, but it's not worth.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Extra hundreds of dollars, like for stupid. Like there ain't no barbecue. Like there was like a barbecue place down the street, maybe. Like we got to, it's not like. I'm not paying for that. Anyways, I'm not. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. But I just can't imagine having like a really nice house and stuff, or like similar to having like a badass car and paying insurance on it. Like when shit gets expensive for like regular people, and then it's like, man, if you have like really nice stuff, you have to pay even more money, and it's it's a cycle. It's crazy. And who's got money? We got to back these fucking Kickstarters. We got to buy Daryl Banks art and stuff, guys. Like that's what you need to be spending your money on. Yeah. As I've said, no one listens to me ever, the bastards. But yeah, man, I think the new campaign looks really good, and I'm excited. I think these are going to be two good one shots, and I don't know, I like the future projects you got coming on. I love Riot Earp. You know me, I love some fucking Riot Earp. Like exciting that's getting worked on and coming back too. Again, ladies and gentlemen, like you can probably get like, I'm sure he's got digital stuff too. You can get if you're strapped for cash or something. But like, Riot Earp is a solid read, and there's almost a trades, like basically 6 issues of it in 3 double-sized issues, like that you can like get and read and nerd out on. So it's a lot of good content.
180 pages you can get digital for like $10.
You gonna do a trade anytime soon?
Yeah, after the next one comes out, so probably February of 2024.
So that'll be a nice size trade, like a 7-issue trade, and with your probably even more, like 100 and maybe 200 with all your. Because you're a back matter nerd, you love to add that extra shit.
Yeah, so it'll be like a 250 pager,
and then maybe even have a bonus story. You think? Yeah, well,
maybe. Yeah. Hey, I'm thinking about it. Yeah,
nice, man. That's cool. That's exciting. But yeah, that's so. I mean, yeah, Michael Katz has a lot of really cool stuff. You guys should check out, and that's why I keep having him on my show. I don't just like have him on my show because he's like we're related, and like my mom was like, you got to have Michael on your show. No, he's just a good dude making good comics, and you know, I like talking to him. And I stumble into you first, or stumble into Keith Champagne first. I don't know. I can't even remember. It was you for it was you first. And you introduced me to Keith, and then okay.
Keith, Ron, and Daryl.
Yeah.
And then Keith came back, but I'm still ahead of Keith.
Yeah, you guys have been on the show a few times for. I'm always happy because when you guys come on the show, that means there's a good comic on the horizon.
Yeah,
and it's always exciting news to see what you guys are working with. You got anything like on social media wise new? You got like a newsletter or Substack or anything weird?
No,
shout out?
I'm not very tuned in to that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd have time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I did know how, I don't. I'm not familiar with Substack or Reddit.
Yeah, I need to get on. They've been talking about getting me on Reddit to, people have advised me to think about getting onto Reddit to doing like Kickstarter promo, because there's not as much like of it on there as like Twitter, where Twitter is like a lot of constant, like it's just advertisements for Kickstarters, it feels like. And I definitely know that I'm polluting the landscape with a lot of that, but that's why I like to try and make my ads nice and different every time, and sometimes add words to the bubbles and make it fun for you guys, so that I'm not just you
should get on Reddit. I know that. Nice. I tried it myself, but you have to post a certain amount before you can market. So you got plenty of stuff you can buzz about.
Yeah.
Before you start pushing people's comics. So that's how I would do it if I were you.
All right. Probably hop on there. I need to hop on there this weekend. I need to get on it. Need to get out. Yeah, it's always so much shit to do, man. I get tired. Tired and sleepy. I do. It's like I'm fucking old. And it's just like, I got some stuff. I really want to read Ann Nesenti's Daredevil run, and it's really good, but I'm just not finding time to read it because she's coming on in July, and I'm really excited.
You gotta go through sometime, dude. What the hell?
Yeah, but that's 4 epic collections. It's like 50, 60 issues. So I mean, like, you can. Wow. I mean, I can knock one out on the shitter, but it's like you knock one out on the shitter. Maybe if you're having a dirty day, maybe if you drank and had Taco Bell the night before, like maybe you're in there for 2 issues. Like after 2 issues, it starts to get a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, your knees.
I don't have one of those Japanese toilets that use like magnets to like hover you up in the air and shoot water up your asshole and like massage your back while you take a shit on them. We don't have that here at the Morgan household, so unfortunately,
my wife always wonders why it takes so long. Like, because I have to finish the book, or I have to finish the chapter.
I did talk about that with the last Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillip book. I mentioned that on Blake and Cole Read a Book that I basically read. I basically read like all but 20 pages of Night Fever on the toilet, and then I didn't even really realize how long I'd been in there. I just was like reading it and lost track of time, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm kind of like not uncomfortable, and then I was like, oh, you're still in the bathroom. Like I totally like
your legs don't work.
Yeah, I was like all wobbly. I just got railed or something. Like my thighs are buckling. But no, I just kind of like forgot where I was for a second because I was just totally transported away from the bathroom into this comic. And then I came back. So I mean, it was cool, but it was like, anyways, I really hope Sean Phillips and Jacob Phillips watched that show and then told Ed about it. That'd be great. Because we sure everybody tagged him in it and we were talking about it, and I was like, man, they're all gonna find out I read their book taking a shit. Oh well, that's another Blake's Buzz bingo deal. What book did Blake read? Or wait, how do you do it? It would just be Night Fever or Toilet Comics or Shit Transportation. I don't know. One
Dick
of those.
on the Table.
Dick on the Table. My MFA. and then my failed attempts at publishing short stories, the things I talk about all the time. And then someone gets a bingo and wins something that I say I'll mail to them and never do. Sorry.
Email from Scrapple.
Yeah. Dude, that's so I'd never gotten like alcohol or food mailed to me before like that. So like the alcohol came in a case and it was like sectioned off with bubble wrap stuffed on top of all the cans. Like it was packaged real nice. And then the Scrapple came with these like, it was like all this like plastic foam shit and these like ice block things that you could freeze and put in there. And then my dad got all excited. And so my dad's like, I'm keeping these. And I was like, well, it's trash. Why do you want to keep them? He's like, I'm going to take these with me when I go fishing to put in my lunchbox. And I was like, all right, cool, Dad. What good. You do that. So like, anyways, my dad was real happy about it. He tried the sandwich I made too, man. That fucking that pork log is good. What I called it tub ham when I was talking to Steve. I was like, what was that shit called? Tub ham? He was like, no, it's not tub ham. Like pork roll. But yeah, it's fucking
Right.
good. But yeah, I was really excited for the Scrapple stuff till like, dude, all these many a comment were left on Scrapple pictures where people were like, it's dog vomit and a brick. It's bricked up dog vomit. And and I was like, wow, I'm kind of nervous now. But then I looked at like pictures. I looked at pictures and there was a lot of like eggs and grits and Scrapple. And it was just like, it was like, you know, fried up and browned and looking all nice, like on the side of some breakfast dishes. And I was like, okay, like that looks good though. But I mean, yeah, I've eaten a lot of pretty things that didn't taste good. Zing. And I'm just kidding. That was bad. That was in poor taste. But I mean, also like in food, that was true. It wasn't necessarily. It was also a true statement. I may being a fucking pig. But anyway, I had to make a couple dirty jokes tonight because you came with the dirty comic. I had to step up the game a little bit, right? You're like, you talk about regular comics and dicks on tables, Blake. So I don't know. You're already doing it, bud. Like, you've ruined my son forever. That's gonna make a good short. I'm gonna make a short about how I taught your kid about putting your dick on the table, and everybody's gonna be like, "Man, I should watch Blake's Buzz." It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I got another one.
Yeah, bring your 8-year-old.
Yeah, let your 8-year-old watch the show. Learn all about some cool. They'll have you rent some cool movies from. Or you don't really rent movies online now. I was about to say go rent some movies from Blockbuster and make a nice night out of it. I was really shocked. I was running errands with my dad the other day, and he had to go pick up medicine or something from Walgreens, and I didn't know they still had Redbox shit with like DVDs and stuff. You could like the DVD machines and shit. I was like, what the fuck? People don't have Wi-Fi? It's fucking nuts. Because I thought about that the other day, man. Like if my PlayStation's not hooked up, like I don't have a way to watch like Blu-rays or anything. So like almost all my stuff, like even when I've like bought Blu-ray sets, I use the digital code and like watch them on my tablet typically, like is how I watch it. And so it's funny, like, you know, some people are like, I don't have Wi-Fi. And now I'm like, I don't have anything I can put these round pieces of plastic in. Like, what is this shit? Right. And I like people still have VHS collections and stuff. I have a buddy who still loves buying CDs. Like, it's crazy. I remember I used to do a long time ago. I used to borrow movies on the internet and burn them for my friends because I had like a nice computer and I could like, you know, if you didn't have it with a nice computer, and I used to nerd out and like overclock it, like back when I had like a nice gaming PC forever ago, and I could like burn a DVD, and it took about 40 minutes to like convert it, burn it, and spit it out, and then like if you like turn down the clocking, it would take like, you know, 50 minutes or so. But anyway, so like I could always like you go buy like 50 DVDs for like $20 or whatever, and then they would get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So I used to burn DVDs for everybody. My weed dealer used to give me like my dad and I had the same guy before it was legal here, and dude, he used to like every time he came over, he'd be like, all right, what do we got? And like, I'd give him all these movies, and then, you know, we still had to buy stuff, but he would like, he'd like throw a little on top for me being his blockbuster, basically. Pirating is wrong, I guess I should say. You shouldn't do it. Well, actually, maybe now you should, because like they don't want to fucking pay writers, and these fucking streaming services are in control of rights, and they can just take things away, even though you pay money every month to watch their content. So you're like not in control of the media. Like it can just vanish one day and you'll never be able to watch it. So like that kind of sucks. So like some people are arguing that pirating is once again maybe shouldn't be frowned upon, but what shouldn't pirate is comics, because that's fucked up. Like if you're gonna steal movies and music, I guess, or don't. Feel like I'm digging a hole. No, I saw I'm on Blue Sky now. I saw someone talking about that today. They were like it was like, I even think they like throwed an article into it about like why pirating should become a thing again. And I was like, this is weird to see in the comic book community. They weren't talking about comics, but it seems weird to say like pirate this stuff, but have a conscience when it comes to this stuff. You know, like you're walking a fine line. Anyway, streaming services are weird. I get, like physical media is always going to mean something to somebody. But they can't take it. I mean, someone could like mug you and steal it from you, but they can't just take it. They can't take it away. Anyways, I'm talking about weird shit now. Sorry, Michael. I'm fucking out in an island of an ocean of Blake thoughts.
Deep thoughts with Blake Morgan.
Deep thoughts with Blake Morgan. But anyways, man, it was so great to catch up with you. I'm really stoked for this new comic. Everybody, you guys should go check it out. Metalhead on Kickstarter. I forgot to do this earlier. Sorry, but Google's a powerful tool if you were interested. But I'm posting the link in the chat. It'll pop up in the comments. So like, there's that link. Click it. Check out Metalhead. Again, the art. Like, you guys should just go in and buy some really fair priced commissions and basically get free comics on top of it. Like I've bought commissions before and they're usually a lot more expensive. Anyways, I go check it out, guys. It's very cool. It's very sexy. The art's wonderful. I've been in love with Michael's books for a while now. And so like, I have total faith that the story is going to back up the art and these preview pages. Like I'm stoked for this high stakes, the exoskeleton exo armor world that you've created. I'm very interested to see how it plays out. But yeah, man, anything else you want to shout out or talk about before we call it a night and start our weekend?
No, I think we got everything covered.
All right, real quick, what's your Twitter handle? Where do we follow you?
Strider Nolan 13.
Strider Nolan 13. Give this man a follow, ladies and gentlemen. He really does. He pumps out a handful of cool comics every year on Kickstarter. One of the bigger producers, I would say, on Kickstarter. And he works with very talented artists. He works with great editors. Ron Mars edits a lot of his comics. Ron Mars writes in his comics sometimes. Like he's well connected. He's got a great eye for art, and he's got a great vibe for storytelling. He really gets the genres he plays in. And I'm just always excited to get that next Katz book and see what you've been up to, bud. Well, I hope that you have a great weekend. And once again, I apologize for corrupting your kid.
I ate it and abetted.
We'll blame Keith. It was Keith's fault. It was his show. He brought it out of me. Yeah, everybody, give him a follow. Check out this book, Metalhead, Kickstarter. Check it out. Love more, hate less, read comics. Everybody, I hope you have a really, really awesome weekend. We got 2 glorious days before that motherfucker Monday comes back to show its ugly face. And I hope those 2 days treat you great. Michael, same man. I hope you have a great weekend. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Blake. You too.
We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All righty.
It's Blake's Buzz Live.